I think the purpose of the lesson was communicated effectively because we talked about why we were going to be learning the BAR model method. Talked about how they even expressed that they needed help with problem solving. They said, long division algorithm in particular, but then when I suggested word problems, they kind of all chimed in like, oh yeah, those two, because, we're not really very good at those either. So I think the kids kind of, they knew that they needed help with problem solving in particular. So, and then that last little group kind of reiterated that this method was good because they could visually see what they were doing. I think starting off with the multiplication problem that we did to kind of show the method was good because it showed me that they already knew the answer, but they would be able to see how they got the answer by using the new method. I think the video will really help, especially when we have to do simple algorithms for converting between the units. I'll probably be showing that a few more times just so they can get the order in their heads of what units comes when. And I think the Khan Academy video was good too because he kind of set up for them how you would do it in a normal algorithm way, and then I kind of filled it in with the bar model. The planning was essential because I needed to have problems available. I needed to have all of the worksheets prepared. I also spent multiple hours this weekend reviewing the methods that they used for math and how to effectively present that instruction. So looking at what the sequence that they used in Singapore, and yes, we did skip a few steps because students in Singapore start this when they're in kindergarten and they learn all the different ways that numbers are bonded together, and we're kind of jumping in right in the intermediate stage of this. But I think at least having this visual available and have it be a tool that they can use in their toolbox to use is going to help them, especially when it comes to intense, complicated word problems on the end of the year assessment. The Project GLAD strategy of using the Scouts, I think it's one of those strategies that can be used across any grade level, across any curriculum. Doesn't have to be specific to only science or reading or social studies. It's universal, and the kids understand what the expectations are, and they're responsible for their learning because they know their classmates are judging them. Well, not judging them, but are watching out for behavior, and they're going to get rewarded for it. I think the students were engaged. I think as the days progress and we do this method a lot more, it'll begin to click how to use the bar model, because even when I first saw it, I had to watch the video over several times to understand what she was explaining on how it's effectively used. And then I went off and I watched 25 more videos about different word problems, different types of word problems. And it wasn't until maybe the 30th video that I watched that it finally clicked in my head. So it's just one of those things. It's going to take time, but starting it now will give them at least 8 weeks of practice before they have to take the end of the year assessment, and we'll be able to use it in multiple settings. So ratios, percentages, parts of a whole. It's just understanding that, how to break apart wholes into parts, or if you have a whole and a part, how to figure out what the other part is. And yeah, I think it lends itself well to that whole range. The unit conversions might not seem meaningful or relevant right now. When we start going into science, I think they'll see the meaning, the relevance. the main focus today was, can they effectively use the bar model in different types of problems? And I think, again, since it was their very first day learning it, I don't know if they'll see the meaning or the relevancy yet, but as time progresses, and we do more problems, we do more types of problems with it, they'll be able to see how it can be applied to anything. I mean, it's just simple rectangles. I would develop this from the very first day of school. So I would introduce the bar model on the very first day of school, and hopefully by this point the students will be semi-proficient in it. I mean, proficient enough where they can do the simple addition, subtraction, multiplication, straightforward word problems with it. And then everything else will kind of be structured and supported along with that. So ratios, percentages, using it to compare distances, like how I did with my small group in the marathon distances, possibly using it for unit conversions, and other things like that.